Russian Federation to allow unfettered humanitarian acts to grave support.
Give the floor to the
efforts aimed at achieving a peaceful and a sustainable end to this war. I thank you.
I thank the representative of Guyana. I give the floor to the representative of Algeria.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Allow me at the outset to thank Assistant Secretary General Mr. Miroslav Yencha for his insightful briefing. We convene today, yet again, while the war in Ukraine continues to kill more innocent civilians, forcibly displacing many others to seek safe shelters for them and their families, while also causing additional material losses and destruction to the infrastructure. This war has had a heavy toll on both sides. Losses in terms of casualties and the tremendous destruction in addition to a prolonged humanitarian crisis. What is concerning in this matter is the fact that this situation is viewed as almost inevitable in the absence of any tangible impact of individual and international initiatives launched to date in order to narrow the diverging points of views. What complicates the matter further is this logic of escalation and confrontation adopted by both sides, as well as the logic of polarization that continues to overshadow the tensions and the interactions among the various major actors. Algeria has repeatedly warned that if this situation persists, it will never lead to any other different outcome than the one we are witnessing today, namely an outcome that can be described as an ever-worsening situation. Algeria has been advocating that we should not surrender to the status quo and accept that the events are inevitable. On the contrary, we called for giving precedence to the language of dialogue and diplomacy over that of confrontation and war. We truly believe that the solution can only be a peaceful solution that can be reached through dialogue, a dialogue that is inclusive for both sides and constructive, that prioritizes the end of the war and the bloodshed away from geopolitical considerations and narrow interests. It should be a dialogue that is premised on full respect and compliance with the principles and objectives of the UN Charter and the international law that we all agree are fair and should prevail. It should be a dialogue that prioritizes addressing the root causes for this conflict and giving due attention to the security concerns of both sides to ensure a lasting solution for this conflict. The conflict that is not a source of concern or a security threat to the region alone, but has economic repercussions that burden the world as a whole, particularly developing countries. Accordingly, and in an attempt to narrow the diverging viewpoints and to create the conditions that are conducive for a solid foundation that would facilitate dialogue among between the two parties, Algeria engaged last September in a new initiative led by China and Brazil in order to strengthen and promote consultations at all levels and with all parties. Through this initiative, the group of Friends of Peace was established at the level of permanent representatives in New York in order to enhance the understandings towards supporting global efforts aiming at achieving lasting and just peace. Algeria stands ready to provide all necessary support towards reaching a peaceful and final settlement for this conflict to allow security to prevail in the region. Thank you.
I thank the representative of Algeria. I give the floor to the representative of the United Kingdom.
And I